This used to be my video editing setup, but over the past year, I completely rebuilt it from the ground up. Because I was sick of spending all day at a setup that was losing me money, destroying my posture, and doing this every edit. So I got rid of the entire setup and started from scratch. The first phase was the foundation. So first, I needed a PC that wouldn't crash mid-edit. So I got this. This is a MacBook Pro M4 Max, which is by far the best machine I have ever used. But this was not cheap, about $5,000. But hey, it's fast, like insanely fast, which means more work and more money. And I literally use it for 99% of my work, so no regrets at all. Also, I chose a laptop over a desktop so that I can work with it anywhere I want, which is a complete game changer. If you're interested in the specs, I'll leave those in the description below, along with all of the different pieces of gear that I'm gonna cover in this video. Now, even though I love working anywhere, most of my serious work still happens at my desk. And after years of using a desk and chair combo that was slowly morphing my posture into this, I wanted to make sure to create a setup that won't cause health issues for years to come. So I spent about 10 minutes researching ergonomics on ChatGPT, and I learned I needed a chair that actually supports my back. Revolutionary stuff, I know. So I got a second-hand Herman Aeron. The only things I don't love about this chair is no headrest, and I wish it tilted a little bit further forward. So if I get a new chair, I would look into that. Next, the desk. My old desk was fine, but it had one big issue. It didn't go low enough. And even though I got a new chair, I still had to raise it all the way up to get my elbows to a 90-degree angle, which is best for your posture, but it still wasn't quite 90 degrees. Plus, at this height, my feet did not sit flat on the ground, which is a big no-no for ergonomics. So to replace that desk, I got this flexi-spot frame, which goes down lower so I can keep my feet flat on the ground and get that sweet 90-degree angle. It also has presets that automatically move your desk to where it needs to be based on what you set it to. So if you want to stand for a bit, you can easily change it from sitting to standing with the click of a button, which I find really convenient. For the tabletop, I wanted a darker aesthetic that would contrast the lighter areas of my hardware and the room. But more importantly, I wanted a larger desk size, because before it felt like I didn't have enough room, and my monitor was sitting way too close to my eyes, which was causing some eye strain. And I found that the best distance is to keep your monitor at an arm's length. So I went to the hardware store, got some plywood, and made a custom-sized tabletop. This took like a week from the planning to the sanding to the staining, and I think it looks great, and there's something cool about having the foundation of my setup be something that I made. Now on to phase 2, the externals. Not long after getting the laptop, I realized that a 16-inch screen was not going to be big enough to edit on. And my monitors? Well, they looked way worse in both color and resolution than my laptop. So I needed a monitor that would actually match what I was seeing on this laptop screen. At first, I tried to solve this for cheap. In fact, it was only 80 bucks after discounts. And honestly, it worked pretty well, but the colors were still slightly off. And when you're editing, especially color grading, that really matters. So I did something kind of stupid. I bought the Studio Display XDR. Don't do this. This was a poor financial decision, but it's honestly the best monitor that I have ever used. And I plan to use it for the next 10 years. It has nearly perfect blacks, amazing color, HDR, webcam, speakers, you name it. It's the full package. But if I didn't create content as well as edit videos, then I would have gone for a 32-inch monitor or even an ultra-wide monitor like one of these. Because when you're editing, it can be really nice to have a little bit more screen real estate. So now that I had a new monitor, I had a great 2-display setup with this monitor and the laptop. But eventually, I got tired of craning my neck down to look at the laptop before looking back at my main monitor. So I bought this laptop stand so that they could be side by side. Now, since I was using the MacBook keyboard before, I now had to get a new keyboard for this new setup. And I remembered that I had this old Apple keyboard that I could use, but it was terrible. So I bought a new one with Touch ID, which is kind of the only reason I got it. Now, the Studio Display has amazing speakers, which I use pretty much all the time. But a client of mine gifted me these Sony XM6 headphones, which I keep on a simple stand for whenever I really want to lock in while I'm editing. And they're also great for editing on the go. I bring them pretty much everywhere. Now on to phase 3, workflow. At this point, my setup looked great, but my editing workflow still felt slow. And I had been seeing other pieces of hardware that other editors were using to speed up their editing workflow. So my first buy was the MX Master 4. I like this mouse. It has a smooth infinite scroll wheel, a horizontal wheel, which is really nice if you're scrolling your timeline, and it has several customizable buttons, which I personally use on Mac to trigger mission control or switch desktop windows quickly. But there is one kind of big issue that I have with this mouse. It's heavy. Especially after a long day of editing, it was starting to give me wrist pain. So because of that, I bought this lift vertical mouse, which feels a lot more comfortable in my day-to-day since it's lighter and it keeps your hand and shoulder in a more natural position. It does have one less customizable button than the MX4, and it doesn't have that horizontal scroll wheel, which I do miss, but I got a new piece of gear that solves these issues. And that is the Ulanzi D200X Creative Deck. Ulanzi sent this over and is sponsoring the video, but I was already in the market for something like this, so the timing worked out. And so far, I'm loving it. The horizontal timeline scrolling that I missed from the MX4 is now solved with this little knob on the Creative Deck. And a lot of repetitive actions that have always bothered me while editing or creating are now just a click of a button. For example, every time I wanted to ripple delete a clip or zoom in on my timeline, or even just open a folder that I use every day, I was either reaching for a keyboard shortcut, which sometimes I struggled to remember, or clicking through folders that I've clicked through 1,000 times just to find the right assets. But now I set up custom shortcuts that I use often on these 14 customizable buttons, and it's just one click. And honestly, my favorite use of this is when I'm editing and I need to find a folder that I often use with all of my assets in it, but I don't want to navigate through 6 different folders to find it. I also love these 3 knobs, which you can use to scrub your timeline, zoom in and out, and pan sideways, which is super convenient. So if you edit or create for hours every day, the time you save on repetitive actions genuinely adds up. And if you want to check out the Ulanzi Creative Deck for yourself, I left a link in the description below. And thanks again to Ulanzi for sponsoring this video. Next up is phase 4, the vibes. So the setup was basically done at this point, but after working there for about a month, I realized that I wanted more than just the gear. I wanted the entire space to feel like somewhere I would want to work. So I started focusing on little changes. I swapped my mouse pad for a full desk mat, which just feels much more comfortable and clean. I added a couple coasters for coffee and water, got a notepad and a pen to jot down ideas, but then I decided to tackle the biggest problem of all, the cable monster. I've always been someone who doesn't worry much about this, but things were getting a little bit out of hand. So I bought some underdesk cable management, and I got this game-changing mesh cable organizer that you can open for easy access. So now it not only looks good, but functions super easily. If I need to change out any cords or cables, it's really easy to just open up the cable organizer and switch things around. And of course, I had to decorate the rest of the space. And after making all of these changes, I can finally say I have a setup that I'm actually excited to come work at. Was it worth the thousands of dollars and hours of time? Maybe. A year ago, I was hunched over a blue screening PC, dreading the hours of editing that I had ahead of me. Now I actually look forward to sitting down at this desk, and honestly, that's what matters most. Again, if you want any of this gear, there are links to everything in the description below. But a great setup is just the foundation. On top of that, there are several strategies that I use to stay focused through long editing days, which you can find in this video right here if that sounds helpful to you. And I'll see you in the next one.